The massive research station floated silently above the third planet from a yellow star. Inside the gleaming metal halls, Dr. Marcus Kane stood before a wall of glowing screens, his tall crystalline body reflecting the blue light of the data displays. His 6 arms moved quickly across the control panels as he studied the information about the planet's dominant species. "This cannot be correct," Marcus muttered, his voice echoing with a musical chime that was natural to his people, the Krillians. He had been studying alien life forms for over 200 years, and nothing he saw made sense. Dr. Emma Wright slithered into the room, her long serpentine body moving gracefully across the smooth floor. As a Nitherian, she had spent decades analyzing predator species across the galaxy. Her golden eyes fixed on the screens, and she could immediately see why Marcus was confused. "What troubles you?" Emma asked, coiling her lower body into a comfortable position near the main console. Marcus gestured toward the biological readouts with 2 of his arms. "Look at these creatures they call humans. Everything about them screams weakness. Their bones are thin and break easily. Their muscles are weak compared to any proper predator. They have no claws, no fangs, no venom, no armor plating. They cannot even see well in the dark." Emma studied the data more closely. The humans were indeed strange. They stood upright on only 2 legs, which seemed incredibly unstable. Their skin was soft and easily damaged. They had almost no body hair to protect them from cold or injury. By every measure the Galactic Council used to rate species, humans should have been classified as prey animals. "Perhaps they are prey animals," Emma suggested. "Maybe they survived by hiding or running away from danger." Marcus clicked his crystalline fingers together, a sound that meant disagreement among his people. "That is what I thought at first. But look at this." He touched a control and new images appeared on the screens. "This planet is filled with massive predators. Giant cats with teeth like daggers. Wolves that hunt in packs. Bears that stand twice as tall as a human. Crocodiles with jaws that can crush metal. Venomous snakes and spiders. This world is a nightmare of deadly creatures." Emma's scales rippled with interest. On her home world, such dangerous animals would have driven any weak species extinct millions of years ago. How did they survive? "That is exactly what puzzles me," Marcus replied. "According to our orbital scans, humans are not just surviving. They are the dominant species on the entire planet. Every single one of those dangerous predators avoids human settlements. The humans have somehow taken control of their entire world." Emma moved closer to examine the biological data. Human bodies seemed impossibly fragile. Their bones contained much less calcium than strong species. Their muscles had far less fast-twitch fiber than any known predator. They could not run very fast or lift very heavy objects compared to the other animals on their world. "Look at their teeth," Marcus continued, pointing to detailed scans of human skulls. "These are not the teeth of hunters. They are flat and small, designed for eating plants and soft foods. Yet somehow, these creatures have conquered every environment on their planet." The screens showed humans living in frozen wastelands where the temperature would kill most galactic species instantly. Other humans lived in scorching deserts where water was scarce and the heat was unbearable. Some lived high in mountains where the air was thin, while others lived in thick jungles filled with deadly plants and animals. "Their technology must be advanced," Emma suggested. Marcus shook his head, creating tiny chiming sounds. "That is another mystery. Their technology is primitive by galactic standards. They have only just learned to leave their planet's atmosphere. They still use chemical rockets and metal tools. Many of them still hunt and gather food with simple weapons made of wood and stone." Emma was quiet for a long moment, processing this information. In her experience, weak species either developed incredible technology or they died out quickly. Humans seemed to have done neither, yet they had somehow become the masters of their world. "There must be something we are missing," she said finally. "No species becomes dominant by being weak. There has to be a hidden strength." Marcus brought up more detailed scans of human anatomy. "I have studied every aspect of their biology. Their hearts pump blood efficiently but not better than average. Their lungs process oxygen well but nothing special. Their brains are large for their body size, but not exceptionally so compared to other intelligent species." "What about their behavior?" Emma asked. "Now that is interesting," Marcus replied, his crystalline body brightening with excitement. "The behavioral patterns are unlike anything in our databases. Watch this." The screens changed to show video footage of humans in various activities. Some were running incredible distances, their legs moving in steady rhythms for hours at a time. Others were climbing sheer rock faces that would challenge even the most athletic galactic species. Still others were swimming vast distances across open ocean. They seemed to have unusual endurance, Emma observed. More than unusual, Marcus corrected. It appears to be their only notable physical trait. But endurance alone cannot explain how they defeated much stronger predators. Emma coiled her body tighter, thinking hard. Perhaps we need to observe them interacting with these dangerous animals. Theory is useful, but sometimes you must see behavior in action to understand it. Marcus nodded agreement. I will deploy the observation drones immediately. We must see how these strange, weak creatures actually hunt and survive in their dangerous world. As the two scientists prepared their equipment, neither could imagine what they were about to discover about human persistence. The invisible drones moved silently through Earth's atmosphere, their advanced cameras recording everything. Marcus and Emma watched the screens with growing fascination as the small machines found groups of humans in different parts of the world. The first observation came from the African plains, where the morning sun was already burning hot. A group of 5 humans walked steadily across the grassland, carrying simple spears and water containers made from animal skins. They moved at a pace that seemed slow compared to the swift animals around them. What are they doing? Emma asked, watching the humans spread out in a line as they walked. It appears they are tracking something, Marcus replied, adjusting the drone's sensors to pick up more detail. Look at the ground in front of them. The enhanced view showed large paw prints in the dry earth. The tracks belonged to lions and they were fresh. Emma's scales shifted color with surprise. They are following lions? Those creatures could kill them easily. On the screen, the lead human bent down and touched the tracks, then stood and pointed in a direction. The group began moving again, following the trail left by the big cats. Their pace never changed, a steady walking rhythm that seemed almost mechanical. 2 hours passed. The humans continued walking under the blazing sun, never stopping to rest. Their skin gleamed with moisture, and Emma noticed something strange. Marcus, look at their cooling system. The thermal cameras showed that while the humans were clearly hot, their body temperature remained stable. Water poured from tiny holes all over their skin, evaporating instantly in the dry air and keeping them cool. Remarkable, Marcus whispered. They are turning themselves into living air conditioners. No wonder they can function in this heat. The drone located the lions 3 miles ahead. The pride was resting in the shade of some trees, 5 adult females and 2 males. The largest male weighed over 400 pounds and had claws that could slice through metal. Any one of these cats could kill all 5 humans in seconds if it chose to fight. But something strange was happening. As the humans approached, staying just close enough to remain visible, the lions became restless. The big male stood up and roared a warning that echoed across the plains. The humans stopped but did not leave. They simply stood there waiting. After 20 minutes, the lions moved to a new location. The humans followed. This pattern repeated again and again as the day grew hotter. The lions would rest, the humans would approach and wait, the lions would move on. I do not understand this behavior, Emma said. Why do the lions not attack? They are clearly stronger. Marcus studied the readings from both species. Look at their energy expenditure. The humans are walking at a steady pace that uses very little energy. But every time the lions move, they use much more energy than they would normally use for hunting. By midday, the temperature had reached levels that would kill most galactic species. The lions were panting heavily, their tongues hanging out as they struggled to cool down. The humans continued their steady pursuit, still sweating but showing no signs of distress. The lions are overheating, Emma realized. Their fur coats are designed for short hunts, not for traveling long distances in extreme heat. Hour after hour, the strange chase continued. The lions tried different tactics to escape their persistent followers. They split up, with some going one direction and others going another way. The humans split up too, with each group following a different set of cats. They tried hiding in thick brush, but the humans always found them by following their scent and tracks. The cats attempted to intimidate their followers by charging toward them with fierce roars. But the humans simply stepped back calmly and resumed following once the display was over. They showed no fear, no aggression, just endless patience. As evening approached, something remarkable happened. The largest male lion, the pride leader who had been strong and threatening in the morning, stumbled as he walked. His massive body was exhausted from hours of moving in the heat while carrying hundreds of pounds of muscle and thick fur. The humans sensed the change immediately. Their pace quickened slightly and they moved closer to the pride. The lions tried to run, but after 8 hours of stop-and-start movement under the burning sun, they had no energy left for speed. One by one, the great cats collapsed in the sparse shade of a thorn bush. Their sides heaved as they gasped for air, their powerful bodies defeated not by superior strength but by simple persistence. The lead human raised his spear and approached the exhausted pride leader. "Incredible," Marcus said, his crystalline body flickering with amazement. "They hunted the hunters. They turned the lions into prey by simply refusing to give up." Emma watched as the humans claimed their prize. "But this seems impossible. Lions are apex predators. They have dominated this continent for millions of years. How can weak humans defeat them so easily?" "They are not defeating them with strength," Marcus observed. "They are defeating them with time. The humans can continue this pursuit for as long as necessary, while the lions cannot maintain their energy indefinitely." The drone recorded the humans working efficiently to process their kill, their movements quick and practiced. Even after the long hunt, they showed little sign of exhaustion. Marcus began to understand that human weakness might actually be a different kind of strength, one that no other species in the galaxy possessed. Over the next several weeks, Marcus and Emma sent their invisible drones to different parts of Earth. What they discovered made them question everything they thought they knew about predator and prey relationships. In the frozen north, they watched a group of humans tracking a massive polar bear across the ice. The bear stood 10 feet tall and weighed over 800 pounds. Its claws were like knives and its bite could crush a human skull instantly. Yet the humans followed it for 3 days straight, never stopping to sleep for more than a few hours at a time. The bear tried everything to escape. It swam across freezing water that should have killed the humans, but they crossed on floating ice chunks, never losing the trail. It climbed steep ice cliffs using its powerful claws, but the humans found ways to climb too, using simple rope and metal spikes. When the bear finally collapsed from exhaustion on the 3rd day, the humans were still walking steadily behind it. "Look at their body temperature," Emma said, studying the thermal readings. "They should be frozen solid in this environment, but they are generating heat through movement and maintaining perfect core temperature." Marcus noted something else. Their breathing pattern never changes. After 3 days of pursuit in sub-zero temperatures, their heart rate and oxygen consumption are exactly the same as when they started. The drones found similar scenes all over the planet. In dense forests, humans chased wild boars for days until the powerful animals collapsed from exhaustion. In mountains, they pursued big-horned sheep across rocky terrain that would challenge the best climbers in the galaxy. In every case, the result was the same. But the most shocking discovery came when Marcus accessed Earth's historical data using quantum scanners that could read traces of ancient events. What they found changed everything. "Emma, you must see this," Marcus said, his voice filled with disbelief. "I have been scanning backwards through time to understand how humans became dominant on their planet." The screens showed scenes from thousands of years ago. Massive creatures that no longer existed on Earth roamed the landscape. Woolly mammoths with tusks like spears. Giant ground sloths the size of trucks. Saber-toothed cats with fangs longer than human arms. Cave bears that made modern bears look small. "These creatures ruled Earth for millions of years," Marcus explained. "They were perfectly designed killing machines with no natural enemies." Emma studied the ancient animals. "What happened to them? Climate change? Disease?" Marcus touched a control and the screen showed a scene from 10,000 years ago. A small group of early humans, wearing simple animal skins and carrying wooden spears, were following a herd of mammoths across a snowy plain. The enormous animals moved slowly, using their trunks to clear snow and find buried grass. "Watch carefully," Marcus said. The humans followed the mammoth herd for days, never attacking directly but never leaving them alone. When the mammoths stopped to eat, the humans waited nearby. When the herd moved on, the humans followed. Day after day, week after week, the pattern continued. The mammoths became stressed and tired. They could not rest properly with the humans always watching. They could not feed in peace. The constant pressure of being followed began to wear them down both physically and mentally. The humans are not hunting them, Emma realized. They are exhausting them slowly over time. After 3 weeks of constant pursuit, the oldest mammoth in the herd stumbled and fell. The humans immediately surrounded it, using their simple spears to finish what exhaustion had started. Then they continued following the rest of the herd until another animal collapsed. "This is not normal hunting behavior," Marcus said, his crystalline body pulsing with confused lights. "Most predators kill quickly and efficiently. This is something else entirely." The quantum scans revealed the same pattern repeated across the entire planet. Humans had systematically followed every large predator species until they were too exhausted to continue. Giant cave bears, massive lions, enormous wolves, All the apex predators that had ruled Earth for millions of years were slowly worn down by small groups of persistent humans. They hunted them to extinction, Emma whispered, her scales pale with shock. Not through superior weapons or strength, but through sheer persistence. They followed these creatures until entire species collapsed from exhaustion. Marcus brought up population charts that showed the timeline. Every major extinction event on Earth in the last 50,000 years corresponds exactly with human expansion into new territories. Wherever humans appeared, the large predators disappeared within a few thousand years. The data was overwhelming. Humans had eliminated competition not through direct confrontation but through a form of warfare that no other species had ever developed. They had turned hunting into a battle of endurance, and they always won. Emma studied the anatomical data again with new understanding. Their entire body is designed for this type of hunting. Their upright walking position is incredibly efficient for long distances. Their cooling system allows them to function when other animals overheat. Their joints and tendons store energy with each step. And most importantly, Marcus added, their minds seem incapable of giving up. Even when logic suggests they should abandon a pursuit, they continue. It is as if the concept of surrender does not exist in their thinking. The screens showed modern humans engaged in activities that proved this point. Marathon runners who collapsed at finish lines but refused to stop. Mountain climbers who continued climbing even when injured. Researchers who spent decades trying to solve single problems. Marcus and Emma realized they were looking at something unprecedented in galactic history. A species that had conquered their world not through strength or intelligence, but through the simple refusal to quit. Marcus adjusted the quantum archaeology scanner to focus on a specific time period 30,000 years ago. The advanced technology could read energy traces left in the Earth itself, reconstructing events that happened long before any records existed. What appeared on the screens made both scientists lean forward in amazement. The scene showed a dark cave entrance high in the mountains. Inside lived something that had terrorized this region for countless generations. The cave bear was enormous, standing 12 feet tall on its back legs and weighing over 2,000 pounds. Its claws were 8 inches long and sharp enough to slice through stone. Its bite could crush the bones of any creature on Earth. This particular bear has killed hundreds of animals, Marcus said, reading the energy signatures. Including many early humans who tried to hunt in this area. It is the absolute ruler of these mountains. Emma watched as the scanner showed a small group of 6 humans climbing toward the cave. They carried only simple spears made of sharpened wood and stone knives tied to sticks. Against the massive bear, these weapons seemed like toys. They cannot possibly win a direct fight, Emma observed. That creature could kill all of them in seconds. But the humans did not approach the cave for a fight. Instead, they positioned themselves on the mountainside where they could see the cave entrance clearly. When the bear emerged to hunt, they followed it at a safe distance. When it returned to its cave, they waited outside. The bear noticed them immediately. It roared a warning that shook rocks loose from the mountainside. The humans stepped back but did not leave. The massive predator charged toward them, moving with surprising speed for such a large creature. The humans scattered in different directions, then regrouped once the bear returned to its cave. They are not trying to fight it, Marcus realized. They are trying to stress it. Day after day, the pattern continued. The humans took turns watching the cave, so there was always someone visible to the bear. Every time it tried to hunt or rest, human eyes were watching. The bear began sleeping less and eating less as the constant pressure affected its behavior. After a week, the bear tried a new strategy. It left the cave at night and traveled far from its territory, hoping to lose the humans in the darkness. But the humans had excellent night vision compared to many species, and they followed by tracking scent and sounds. When the bear found a deer to eat, the humans appeared on nearby rocks, watching silently. The scanner showed the bear's stress levels climbing dangerously high. Its heart rate remained elevated even during rest periods. It was burning energy faster than it could replace it through hunting. Look at the humans, Emma said, studying their biological readings. Their stress levels are normal. Their heart rates are steady. This constant pressure is not affecting them mentally at all. After 2 weeks, the bear made a desperate decision. It charged the humans directly, determined to kill them and end the torment. But the humans had been preparing for this moment. They scattered across the rocky terrain, moving to positions where the massive bear could not reach them easily. The bear chased one human up a steep rock face, its huge claws scrambling for grip on the stone. But climbing required enormous energy, and the bear was already weakened from weeks of stress and poor sleep. Halfway up the cliff, it slipped and fell heavily to the ground below. The human it had been chasing immediately climbed down and began following it again. The bear roared in frustration and charged another human, who led it on a long chase across loose rocks and fallen logs. The bear, designed for short bursts of power, quickly became exhausted from the extended pursuit. By the third week, the change in the great predator was dramatic. The bear that had once been the terror of the mountains now stumbled as it walked. Its massive frame, once impressive and frightening, had become a burden. It had lost significant weight and moved with obvious pain. The humans sensed the change and began closing in. They no longer maintained a respectful distance. Instead, they followed just a few dozen feet behind the exhausted bear, their spears ready. On a cold morning during the fourth week, the inevitable happened. The great cave bear, ruler of the mountains for over 15 years, killer of countless animals and humans, collapsed on a rocky ledge and could not get up. Its enormous body shook with exhaustion, and its breathing came in ragged gasps. The humans approached carefully but without fear. The apex predator that could have killed them all a month earlier now lay helpless before creatures it had always considered weak prey. The lead human raised his simple wooden spear and ended the reign of the mountain's greatest predator. "Impossible," Emma whispered. They defeated the most dangerous predator in the region using nothing but persistence. Marcus studied the energy readings more carefully. Not just persistence. They understood something about energy that even we are just beginning to grasp. They knew that even the strongest creature has limits, and they found a way to push this bear beyond those limits. The scanner revealed that this scene had played out thousands of times across Earth. Every apex predator species, no matter how powerful or well adapted, had eventually faced the same relentless pressure from human hunters who simply never gave up. They did not evolve to be stronger than their enemies, Marcus concluded. They evolved to outlast them. And in the end, that proved to be the most dangerous adaptation of all. Marcus and Emma spent their final weeks studying modern human civilization, and what they discovered sent waves of concern through their research station. The persistence hunting that had eliminated Earth's ancient predators had not disappeared. Instead, it had evolved into something far more sophisticated and potentially dangerous. The drones observed human military units during training exercises. Soldiers marched for days across difficult terrain, carrying heavy equipment that would exhaust most galactic species within hours. When other alien species attempted similar endurance tests, they collapsed or suffered serious injuries. But humans continued moving steadily, their faces showing determination rather than pain. "Look at this footage from their military academies," Marcus said, displaying scenes of human soldiers crawling through mud under barbed wire while instructors shouted at them. They are training their bodies and minds to ignore discomfort and keep functioning under extreme stress. Emma watched a particularly disturbing scene where human soldiers were subjected to interrogation techniques designed to break their will. Most galactic species would surrender valuable information within hours when faced with such psychological pressure. But many humans endured days or even weeks of mental torture without giving up their secrets. "Their minds work differently than ours," Emma observed. "When we face impossible odds, our survival instincts tell us to surrender or flee. But humans seem to interpret impossible odds as a challenge to overcome." The research team found evidence of this mindset throughout human culture. Their athletes regularly pushed their bodies beyond safe limits in pursuit of goals that offered no practical benefit. Human runners competed in races covering over 100 miles through desert heat that killed other participants. Their swimmers crossed channels of freezing water that should have been fatal. Most disturbing were the human explorers. The drones recorded humans climbing mountains in conditions that would kill hardier species, crossing frozen wastelands where the cold alone should have stopped them, and sailing across vast oceans in tiny boats. When asked why they did these things, humans often answered that they wanted to see if it was possible. They explored dangerous places not for resources or territory, Marcus noted, but simply because the places exist. This is not logical survival behavior. Emma discovered something even more troubling in human research facilities. Scientists worked on individual problems for decades, failing repeatedly but never abandoning their goals. She watched one human researcher who had spent 30 years trying to solve a single medical puzzle, facing thousands of failures but continuing to work every day. "In our cultures, we would declare such problems unsolvable and move to more productive tasks," Emma said. But humans seem incapable of accepting that anything is truly impossible. The implications for galactic contact became clear when they studied human responses to conflict. During their wars, human armies continued fighting even when defeat seemed certain. They defended positions that other species would have abandoned, launched attacks that other generals would have considered suicide, and endured sieges that should have broken their will within days. Marcus found records of human cities that had resisted enemy attacks for years, even when surrounded and cut off from supplies. The inhabitants ate anything they could find and continued fighting even when military logic suggested surrender was the only rational choice. They have a psychological inability to give up, Marcus concluded. This is not bravery or courage as we understand it. This is something deeper and more fundamental to their nature. Emma compiled behavioral data that painted an even more concerning picture. When humans encountered problems in their relationships, many continued trying to fix broken partnerships for years or even decades. When their businesses failed, they often started new ones immediately rather than accepting defeat. When their governments oppressed them, they organized resistance movements that could last for generations. They do not understand the concept of permanent failure, Emma realized. Every setback is temporary in their minds. Every defeat is just a reason to try a different approach. The final phase of their research examined how humans might interact with other galactic civilizations. The results were alarming. In every scenario, humans showed the same persistence that had eliminated Earth's apex predators. If they wanted something from another species, they would continue asking, negotiating, pressuring, or pursuing their goal indefinitely. Marcus created a simulation based on human behavioral patterns. Imagine a trade dispute with humans over mining rights, he said. Most species would negotiate for a reasonable time, then accept an unfavorable deal or abandon the negotiations. But humans would continue the process for years, decades, or even centuries if necessary. They would outlast any opposition through sheer persistence, Emma agreed. Even if we were stronger, smarter, or more advanced, we would eventually tire of the conflict and give them what they wanted just to make them stop. The research team prepared their final report for the Galactic Council with trembling hands. Marcus wrote the classification recommendation that would change how the galaxy viewed humanity forever. Species classification, Persistence Predator, Class 7. Threat level, Maximum. Humans appear physically weak because they have never needed conventional strength. They defeat opponents through psychological and physical endurance that exceeds all known limits. In any extended conflict, humans will continue fighting long after logic suggests surrender. They do not recognize permanent defeat and will pursue goals across multiple generations if necessary. Emma added the final warning that made both scientists pause before sending their report. Recommendation for Galactic Contact Protocols. Any civilization that enters into conflict with humans should assume the conflict will never end unless humanity achieves its objectives. They do not negotiate from positions of weakness, they negotiate until their opponents become weak. Their greatest weapon is not technology or intelligence, but their fundamental inability to accept failure. As their research station prepared to leave Earth's orbit, Marcus gazed at the small blue planet one final time. Somewhere below, humans were probably running, climbing, exploring, or pursuing some impossible goal with the same relentless determination that had made them the masters of their world.